Hello everyone, welcome to Ricky's book journal. This is a little bit different because if you watched my first video, this is my second video for the month, so you guys get 2 videos, hey, for this month. So my first video was on my book haul that I did on Friday. This second video of Ricky's book journal is going to be of the books that I've read this past month, which it was in September. Let me find it. Here it is. Now, if you saw the last video, I do have a knot in my shoulder, so I will be moving my head some. This month was a pretty good book month for me. As you know, I am helping my little cousin out and reading some books with her that she's reading in high school. So she lives in Indiana, and so this was a great book month for me. But as you know, when there is a good book month, there's a lot of writing to do. So there is a lot of writing. Excuse me, but it's good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the books that I read this month. I always enjoy reading, even though I may not be able to remember much of what I read because of my disability. That's why I write it down. So let's start. One of the books that she read for this month was called Romeo and Juliet. It was a book that I liked. It was written by William Shakespeare. I rated the book 4 out of 5 stars. It was difficult kind of to understand because of the writing style of the book, but it was a good book in itself. And the ending, even though it was sad, it was kind of happy that they both ended up together in the end. I wish they could end up together alive than dead, but you know, it's a play. So the book was written as a play, so it was kind of weird seeing like this person enter stage or this person leave stage or they leave together, things like that. It was different, but I enjoyed it. It was cool. It brought me back to my high school years, I think junior and senior, or just senior year, when I was in musical theater. Cannot sing to save my life, but I talked my parts a lot. So, but I really didn't have that many parts because still, even in high school, I still had little memory issues. So I kind of just did a lot of like dancing scenes and things like that. So at the end of my senior year, I choreographed a play that was from a West Side Story. So that was fun. But let's get back into Romeo and Juliet. The book was about 2 lovers who come from different kinds or types of family and different kingdoms. Due to them coming from different kingdoms, they are unable to marry. When Juliet's parents find out she is seeing Romeo, they have her set up with Paris, and they set the wedding later that week. Juliet, within the story, after finding that out, Juliet takes a drink of like a potion or something that makes her fall asleep and plays dead, kind of to prove a point in her love for Romeo and not Paris, because she did not want to marry Paris. Her parents find out she's dead after the nurse walks in, and they plan her funeral, and they bury her in a tomb. Well, I'm thinking it's an above ground tomb, because then Romeo goes to see her, but he runs into Paris. They have a sword fight. Romeo wins. He says his goodbyes to Juliet and drinks poison. And then after he dies from drinking the poison, Juliet wakes up. And when Juliet wakes up, she looks out the tomb and sees Romeo and Paris in blood, just like a bloodbath, I guess. And So she sees that they're both dead. And so then she goes and she sees that Romeo has drank poison. And she goes to drink it, but Romeo has finished that poison. And due to him finishing the poison, she kisses him and gets enough poison to kill herself. Her parents then go to the graveyard because they've been called there, and they see that Juliet, Romeo, and Paris are all dead. They also find out that Juliet was married to Romeo officially, because they are wearing wedding rings, and so they are actually then buried together. And so their ending kind of ends happily with them buried together and being together, but sad because they're both dead. The next book I read was They Both Die at the End. So 2 books where people die. This book is by Adam Savela. He is an amazing author along with Becky Abertali. They both did a book called What If It's Us, and they are making another sequel to that book that's coming out later on this year. So I already pre-ordered it. Super excited for it. Can't wait to see where it goes. But this book, They Both Die at the End, it is an absolute amazing book. And it's sad, but it's really good. And it's been top of the charts for the YA books for months and months and months and months and months, or close, at least now probably close to the top, since, you know, new books are written and stuff. But the main characters are Mato and Rufus. They both get a phone call from Deathcast, and the Deathcast has informed them that they have and will die within 24 hours and from that phone call. Both Mato and Rufus meet each other on an app called End of Day, where they can meet, where a person can meet a last friend, or like that last friend is either dying or that last friend is supporting that person so they don't die alone. Once they meet, they both live their life to the fullest. Both Mato and Rufus come from different places due to different issues. Even though the title gives away what will happen at the end of the book has so much more. As you read the book, you will find out about their lives, their past lives, and the friendships that they have gained within each other and other friends as well. And you will also see the kind of love that has happened along the way with Rufus and Mato. Because it's sad, it's like Romeo and Juliet, they do end up falling in love with each other. And then at the end, as the title says, they both die. But they live their life, their 24-hour life, completing things that they need to do and completing issues and things that they need to get done. So this book is written beautifully and such a wonderful book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was just amazing. It was a true book and amazing story. The next book I read was The Shining by Stephen King. I have actually the original book that was written. It's a yellow book with yellow edges, and it was an amazing book. Kind of long. It was like 400, a little bit over 400 pages. But it was an amazing book. A family goes to work at a hotel. It's called The Overlook. They go to this hotel due to the dad needing a job after getting fired from teaching his college job. the dad has some anger issues and a drinking problem, but is trying to overcome these issues as well. The family feels the dad working at the Overlook Hotel, it will be good for the family to become a better family and kind of grow together. When the dad starts his job at the Overlook, it is for the winter, trying to keep the Overlook in good shape. Before going to the Overlook Hotel, the son has a dream with his imaginary friend. His name is Tony. And what the family doesn't realize about this hotel is that it is haunted from past guests and who died there. So if you've seen American Horror Story, it's kind of like the haunted house in season 1. Whoever dies at the house stays at the house. So kind of like the hotel. Let's see here. Past guests there. The dead guests want to take the family, especially the son, since he's a shiner. And by shining, he can see things that has happened before. And the main characters of this book that was written by Stephen King is Danny, which is the son, Jack, which is the dad, Wendy is the mom, Dick Harmon is a chef, he also has a shining, and Mr. Allman is the manager of the Outlook. And there's some other people on the way as well. This was actually the first Stephen King book that I've read. So I started off big. Well, kind of big. I mean, it is a pretty big book. I didn't read that yet. I've seen the movie. Haven't read it, though. I truly enjoyed the writing of this book and the details that Stephen King put into this book and the adventure that you go on while reading this book. Now, I did learn that there's The Shining, and then after The Shining is Dr. Sleep. Both those books have something in common, but if you want to read them in order, it will be The Shining and then Dr. Sleep. I plan to read Dr. Sleep hopefully this month after I'm done reading my current book, which is Red, White, and Royal Blue, so I can see the movie. I did see the movie of The Shining, completely different than the book. I 100% loved the book better than the movie. The movie has no justice to do with the book. The book was just amazing. The movie was good, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the movie. It was a good movie. But the book was just so much more detailed, and just you imagined yourself in this position, and you went with it like you thought you were there. So Stephen King did an amazing job with this book, and I have some other books by him that I can't wait to dive into as well. The next book I read was Al Capone. This was through I'm going to link it below, but it was through a website that kind of tells history of different people. And this one I got, they do free Fridays, so you get a book on Fridays that is free. And I picked up Al Capone. The reason I picked up this book is because a few years ago, I actually visited one of the jails that he was in, and this jail was in Philadelphia. And I mean, he was in a lot of jails and prisons, but this jail was in Philadelphia, and I actually toured the jail, and it was very cool. And they kept all of his stuff in his jail cell. It was fully decorated like he ran it. So Al Capone, so I wrote in letter ink, I don't know why I did that, but Al Capone was born on January 17th, 1899, which is kind of cool. I was born January 10th, 1990. I know, a long year, big year difference, but the month and the day. He started his life in Brooklyn, New York. Al had 8 siblings. So he had a brother named Vince, who changed his name later to Richard. Ralph, Salvatore, Irma, she died at the age of 1. Hermano, Albert, Mado, and Mafida. And then there was Al. Al made good grades in school, but he was a rule breaker, and he punched a teacher in the face. After picking a fight with the teacher, he was expelled. After him being expelled, he ended his life at school. He was done. Al, so let's see here. Al had a scar. He was also known as Scarface because he got a scar for fighting at a bar, that he was a bar hopper, like a bodyguard at a bar. It was like a knife that scratched him in the face in Chicago. Al ran most of Chicago. But he got into a fight. Slashed with he was slashed in the face, not a knife, a pocket knife. He was slashed in the face, but he informed everyone that he was in World War I, which was a lie. And he mostly took over all of Chicago, and he bribed people, and with money. He was one of the most fancy dressed gangsters, he was, let's see here, a person was running for like governor, and he was trying to stop the gangster and the mobs in that area. Al hired his gangster people, and they fought this person, and Al actually paid for his medical bills as well. Now, later on in life, let's see here. He moved to Miami, and he bought a mansion in Miami. And then, due to tax fraud, was it tax fraud? Let's see here. Is that what I wrote? He was released. Let's see, I'm sorry. See, I should write in light ink. Let's see here. Faith he was in the penitentiary. I was transferred to California, to the prison, the Alcastan prison, which is on the island in California. So he was transferred there, and then he was let go on good behavior. Let's see. State pension. Island. Alcatraz, I think. He was on that island in California. He was released from there November 16th, 1939. And then earlier in life, Al found out he had syphilis, and it affected him and his wife and his child. After Al was released, on good behavior, he spent the rest of his life in Miami, in the mansion that he bought. And his son got married, and they had 2 girls. And it was Al and his wife's, like, they were their dream. Like, they were their everything. On January 25th, 1947, Al died of bronchial pneumonia. And he was buried in Chicago at Mount Olivet Cemetery. And a few years later, his remains were removed, and he was moved to Carmel Cemetery, which was his final resting place. 3 simple words were placed on his grave. It said, "My Jesus, mercy." And even though the families of those who he killed may not have thought that or forgave him, Al came to a forgiveness of this, because during his time of death coming closer, he started talking to the people who died and informed them of the reason that he killed them. Al was also known for his occupations of a gangster, a bootlegger, a rocketeer, and a boss of the mob. Along with Chicago outfit and the St. Valentine's Day